and welcome to Arirang News Break. Live from Seoul, I'm Han-daeun. New details on President Park's schedule next month when she's slated to engage in a round of multilateral summits. We previously reported that she will be visiting Vladivostok in Russia for the Eastern Economic Forum on September 2nd and 3rd, but that will only be her first stop. President Park will then take off to Hangzhou, China for the G20 summit, where world leaders will gather to discuss ways to make a more innovative and inclusive global economy. She will then attend the ASEAN +3 summit that includes Korea, China, and Japan, in addition to the Southeast Asian countries in the Laotian capital of Vientiane on September 7th and 8th. Over the following 2 days, she will continue her official visit to Laos with a summit focused on revving up the bilateral partnership and boosting trade. During her time away, President Park will also likely call for global cooperation in reining in North Korea's threats while seeking understanding for Seoul and Washington's decision to deploy the U.S. missile defense system THAAD against those threats. The North Korean diplomat who defected to South Korea from London with his family is not only the highest-ranking diplomat to flee, he's also a member of the regime's upper elite class. His high-profile defection is likely to have a huge impact on Pyongyang. Connie Kim at the Unification Ministry with the latest.
The defection of Tae Yong-ho, North Korea's deputy ambassador to the UK with his family, has raised eyebrows. Not only is he the highest-ranking North Korean diplomat to seek asylum in the South, he's also a member of North Korea's upper class, which makes his flight even more rare. A source well acquainted with North Korea said Thursday Tae's father, Tae Byung-yeol, was one of the people who engaged in anti-Japanese activities during the Kim Il-sung era. He was also a member of the North Korean Workers' Party Central Committee, and his brother is the president of Kim Il-sung University. When Tae was in high school, he was reportedly sent to China to study Chinese and English. Tae's wife, Oh Hae-sun, is reportedly also a member of North Korea's elite. Her father, Oh Beng-young, was said to have engaged in anti-Japanese activities, and her two brothers are government and military officials. Tae was scheduled to return to Pyongyang this summer, but sources say he may have fled due to fears he would be questioned over the UK's criticism of North Korea's human rights abuses, as well as a desire for his son to be educated outside of North Korea. Seoul's Unification Ministry confirmed Tae's defection Wednesday, saying his defection was motivated in part by his disillusionment with the Kim Jong-un regime. The ministry also said the case reflects the growing instability in the regime. Connie Kim, Arirang News.
As the sweltering heat continues, many of you here in Korea may be quite worried about this month's electricity bills. To ease financial burden on citizens, the government and the ruling Saenuri Party have launched a 15-member task force to reform Korea's decades-old cumulative electricity rate system. Meeting this morning, the two sides agreed to talk on a monthly basis to craft a reasonable solution to enhancing the current billing scheme by the end of the year. The team plans to study pricing schemes in other countries, especially those with similar electricity usage conditions like Japan. They'll also hold public hearings over how to overhaul the billing system. As part of efforts to curtail consumption, Korea currently uses a progressive billing system for households, which charges higher rates as more energy is used. However, the system is not applied to industries, which account for over half of the country's energy consumption. Samsung Electronics share price hit a new intraday high of over $1,433 a share in early trading this morning. This was after the tech giant reported its best quarterly profit in over 2 years in late July, propelled by strong sales of its flagship Galaxy S7 smartphones. Industry insiders predict Samsung Electronics will post an operating profit of more than $27 billion this year, topping the 30 trillion won mark for the second time. The target price from a survey of analysts for Samsung Electronics shares currently stands at just over $1,600. Now let's get our daily update from the 2016 Olympics in Rio. After a bad couple of days with loss after loss, Team Korea finally snagged 2 medals in taekwondo. And as if that weren't enough, a new Olympic record was set in men's athletics. Yoon-shin has more.
Ending the country's medal drought with 2 in taekwondo, Wednesday was the day Team Korea was waiting for. The biggest thrill of the day was Kim So-hee's gold in women's tournament. In the final match in the 49-kilo category, the 2-time world champion took on Tijana Bogdanovic of Serbia. In one of her signature moves, Kim scored 3 points in the second round with an impressive turning kick to the head. After the victory, the 22-year-old said that, more than anything, she was happy to keep the promise she made to her parents, that the decoration she was going to deliver home was going to be a golden one. And on the men's side, Team Korea's 2-time world champion Kim Tae-hoon won a bronze in the men's 58-kilo category. To the surprise of many, Kim got knocked out in the round of 16, 12-10 by his Thai opponent. But proving his resilience, which also happens to be an important principle of the martial art, he came back stronger in the repechage, which allowed him to move on in the competition even though he had come in just below the qualifying score, beating Mexico's Carlos Navarro 7-5. Day 12 also saw the return of a sport that has been absent from the Olympics for more than a century, golf. After the first round, Team Korea's Park In-bi, the world number 5, is second on a 5-under par 66. She's only 1 shot behind the leader from Thailand and tied with world number 6, Kim Se-young. Though the other 2 female golfers from Korea are way down the field at the moment, hopes are high Team Korea will scoop at least a couple of medals in the sport. Meanwhile, the host country has sealed a spot in the final of the men's football. Brazil cruised past Honduras 6-0 and is now set to play Germany in the final on Saturday. In athletics, Kenya's Conseslus Kipruto claimed gold in the 3,000-meter steeplechase and set an Olympic record of 8 minutes 3.28 seconds. The country has now won every gold in the event since 1968, having boycotted the 1976 and 1980 Olympics for political reasons. Some lost, some claimed medals, and some broke records on day 12, keeping the thrill alive as we head into the last 4 days of the Games. Yoon-shin, Arirang News.
And that's all from me. Keep you tuned to Arirang for more top domestic and global news updates throughout the day. Thank you for watching.